And this year at NAB, and I was busy, I hustle a lot of stuff for AFI, but I always drop by to see what madness Michael's into, because he's always progressing. He's always pushing the end of the envelope. So I saw the reel of the stuff that Matty Lapatique had done, the stuff with Dave Stump in the Directors Guild, with something else in an office building that went out through a window, which you never expect, and then through the taxi cab, all these great stuff. I saw some of the stuff with the skateboard, but not some other stuff I saw later on. But the thing I was hottest about was that reel showing the potential for remote operated, stabilized micro camera. A musician doesn't always play music. A musician practices. They get their chops up. They do scales. They do things. They get the tools and develop the tools so that they have them available when a great story comes around or when a great tune comes around, that they got the chops to do it. And that's what we were doing. I believe that what Radiant Images has done, what Mike Mansouri has done, into taking the smallest technology that still had some quality, taking the sensor out of the GoPro, making the Novo camera, putting a sharp C-mount lens on it, and then putting it in a remote-controlled gimbal. And Mehran Salamati and his hot gears and all that wireless technology allows us to move that camera all kinds of places where it couldn't go before. We wanted to begin in a place that normally you couldn't get to. And this particular seminar at Chapman Leonard Crane's on Raymer Street in the Valley, when I was invited to speak there, I decided I wanted to do some crazy shot. I wanted to do something that would be fun for me. I kind of retired from active shooting, so every time I could get my hands on cool toys, boy, I jumped to it. And do something that maybe pushes the envelope a little bit. I called up Mike Mansouri, knowing that it was the day after Cine Gear and he'd be busy and had his hands full. And he said, yes, yes, absolutely. Now, the heart of a true filmmaker is someone who doesn't worry about being tired, doesn't worry about he's got to do the wrap, doesn't worry about how many hours and all that, but loves the medium, loves filmmaking. So he said, yes. And I said, can you bring your whole crew? Absolutely. This is a strange bedfellows, having such a giant crane and such a small camera on it. But the combination can do stuff that hasn't been done before. And I'm hoping, having an ego, that this opens doors for people to say, wow, we can do that. And think of other things to do, coming out of the sunroof and going around the car, having a dialogue where people and the camera goes in places, not only that it could never get before, but fluidly, and moving and making the transitions and telling the stories and picking up the reactions at the same time you're picking up the speaker, and be able to move around and fluidly tell a story because the camera moves so effortlessly. I think this has really big ramifications in the future of cinematic storytelling.
Time gets to start it.
it's going to still take the directors and directors of photography and the artists to say, now that I understand this tool, what can I do with it? We made a shot just to show off some of the stuff it can do and try to make it complex and difficult and try to fool people. How did they do that? But it was an exercise. These tools are not going to be unused. There's going to be the great filmmakers that are going to come around and say, oh, I know what I can do with this. Someone with a story about somebody doing a thing. I mean, to take Raging Bull and that incredible Steadicam shot all the way from downstairs to upstairs, and all that develops so much tension to go in this quiet place and then up, and you feel the crowd and you feel the stadium and you feel the lights and you bringing up there. The fact that that's an uncut shot is not only showing off the craft, the mobile camera we could do, but that has a tension you couldn't get from cuts.